Hey up troops, welcome back to the Litanah Army channel. I'm Litanah, and this is my guide for getting started in Oxygen Not Included. Okay, so when you start the game, you're going to start with 3 duplicants. These are the guys that are going to work in your colony. Now, what you've got on here, you've got things like attributes, you've got traits, and you've got additional information down here. So the attributes here, you can see this person, Barney, is good at being creative, so +4 and +3 strength as well. And Nisbet here is good at cooking, learning, creativity, immunity, and tinkering. And this person over here, Frankie, creative, immunity, and tinkering as well. So we don't need someone, these two are very similar, so we're going to shuffle these around because we can do that. So I'm just going to hit the shuffle button. Now, he's got loads of good skills. He's got cooking and digging there, which is going to be really useful early on. But he's also narcoleptic, which means that he can fall asleep at any time, any place. I don't want 2 people that are narcoleptic, so let's move this around a little bit. Maybe not him. Quick learner, gastrophobia is probably not right for us. Flatulent. Okay, well we can live with that. It's not the end of the world. Okay, so there's our 3 people then. You can change the names up here, so you can change them to, you know, whatever you want to call them. So you've got, you know, we can have Sissy, we can have Belinda, and we can have over here, let's put me in there. Let's put Litanah in there. So Litanah we'll put in there as well. And all you do, these are the traits that they've got, and the additional information is like decor expectations, what the stress response is, and the food quality that they'll accept. You know, the food quality that they'll be happy with. So let's embark then in our first colony. So you start with this little portal thing here at the beginning. So the crew has awoken inside a distant asteroid. Oddly, they can't recall how they got there. They'll need to survive to find answers. Okay, so we begin now. You can pause the game at any time by pressing spacebar. So that's now paused, now that I've hit space, and we can kind of get a bit of a lay of the land here and see what we've got. This water layout's quite good because the water's all below us. That's not always the case. And we've got this little shine bug here. Now, he doesn't really interact much in the game, but he does produce light, which makes your duplicants happy, which is awesome. Now, what we want to do first off is dig, and I'm going to dig out into this algae over here, just because you can use this as kind of like a food source. So I'm going to get the game going there. And along the bottom there, once they've dug out a little bit of this dirt, and we can speed things up at the top, where you can press tab. And then what you can do, you can get tiles, look, along the bottom, and we can just put a floor along there like so. And that puts a floor along the bottom there. And we're going to put our toilets over there. We've also got a lot of copper ore, which is useful. And up here, you've got dirt, you've got some coal, and up here. So we're probably going to build a little bit upwards. See, the water being there, I want to kind of drain this further down so that I can use this area here to live in. Okay, oh, he's fell down there. Okay, let's build him a ladder back up. And we can destruct this little area here. Okay, great. So now he can build his ladder and he can work his way back up there. Now, if you press F1, this is how breathable your area is. Let me just slow the game down a little bit while they're doing that. So this is how breathable. So this light blue bit's the oxygen. And you can see there it's got 1,400 grams worth of breathable gas in there, which is great. Now the red section is unbreathable. This is carbon dioxide. And the dark blue bit, or the purple bit if you like, this is breathable gas, but it's barely breathable. This has only got about 500 grams in. So 500 grams is barely breathable. And this down here, 1,500 grams, has got nearly 3 times the amount of oxygen in it. And you've got to manage this. Now, the good thing about this game is that the gases are the same. So CO2 is heavier than oxygen, which is actually good for us. So let's just slow this down a little bit and we'll pause that again now. We'll take the overlay off. So we've got a little area now. We can probably go out a bit further. And if you look here, she's holding her breath, and it's because she's in this unbreathable gas area. Now, she won't die there. You tend to be all right. She's saying it's a little bit stinky down there. I'm guessing that's the flatulence of one of the other guys that we got. So well, I think we're pretty much okay over here. So let's put the toilets down then. So what we'll do is we'll go to plumbing, and we'll put on, I usually start with 2 outhouses. I'm going to go there, and I'll put one there. I want to dig a little bit more out because I want to make room for a compost heap, which means we can make fertilizer later on. So if I just dig like 3 out there, and we'll put another bit along the bottom. There we go, and let's let them crack on with that then. So they're going to build the outhouse now, and they'll sweep up. If there's nothing else to do, they'll sweep all this up, because all this dirt along the floor means that they're not going to want anything, and they're going to... And what's going to happen is with all this dirt on the ground, it actually involves their happiness, and it affects them that way. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to dig out to this water source here as well. So I'm going to dig along here. And I'm going to dig this little bit out. And this is going to be our water source. Now, the problem that we've got is because the carbon dioxide is going to go down, it's actually going to all collect in this little room here. So a good way of getting around that is to kind of dig like a second area, if you like. And what we'll do, I'm just going to dig this out here like this. And then I'm going to put a floor in. Now, I don't normally like it to go over 4, so I'm going to put the floor... Yeah, I'm going to put the floor like that, I think. And we'll put it going over there. So we'll just let them get on with that there. And then what I also want to do, I need to put a wash basin in because this will stop them getting germs and things like that. So if we go to plumbing, no, it might be in medicine actually. Yeah, wash basin, look. So what I tend to do is put 2 wash basins in right next to the toilets there. And then what that'll mean is that when they come out of the toilets, germs won't spread. Now you've got a germ overlay up here at the top. Just click this and you can see there's no germs spreading at the moment. But if you, this little yellow area is telling me that this is a place where germs do surface and where they can be. So they're going to build that up there now. I usually have it on about medium speed this game because one's a little bit slow, but then the rest of it's a bit fast. So that should all be okay, I think now. Now what I want them to do is harvest down here. So click the little harvest tool down there. You can press Y. Just get them to harvest. I don't know if they're going to be able to get that one, but hey, oh, they can, look. He's gone down there. Okay, is he just going to block him in? Oh no, he's got out. Alright, so I've just... Sissy's fell asleep there. Alright, and let's just put the rest of the flooring along the top. There we go, then we've got 2 areas. Now we can slow that down a little bit. Now, we'll get new duplicants every few turns. So, you know, we've got things that we can do there and like extras we can do. But now we really need the water setup, so this is important now. So the water setup is we need to dig this area out so we can put a pump in here. Which is kind of the next step for us. I don't think they're going to be able to dig out that far. Okay, so they're going to finish off the floor so we can speed that up again then now. And the water pump is definitely the next bit because we need what's called a liquid bottler. Okay, so that should be able to fit on there. So you go into plumbing in here and we want a pitcher pump. So we get the pitcher pump. You can press O to turn that around. And let's have a look. Now, the problem I've got there is I can put it there, but I kind of want it a bit lower, I think. I think I want it down here. Yeah, I'm going to put it there. And the reason I'm going to do that is because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the... And I'll make them a little step, and they can kind of step down to that. Now, if you look, the CO2 is all coming down here still. So another thing what you can do is you can build a ladder. This is what I tend to do early on in the game. And you kind of build an area what's going to be used for the carbon dioxide. So you're kind of shutting it off almost. So we're going to dig out a little area like this. That should be fine. Yeah, let's dig out an area like about there, I would say. And then we'll put a floor underneath that. There we go. And then what this is going to be where they're going to... oh, they've all fell asleep there now. So this is where we're going to drop our carbon dioxide into almost. And we're going to kind of pump it down here. So it's night time now. Let's get rid of these basic messages. We've got a little water pump that we're going to have set up soon. And then we need to start researching. So we're going to put a electricity generator up here. So let's just let them get through the sleep. And then we'll crack on with that. While they are doing that, what you can do is you can click on the wash basins and you can set the direction. So they only wash their hands when they walk this direction past the wash basin. So they'll go to the bathroom there, which will be, you know, that'll fill them with germs. But as they come out of here, then what will happen is they'll wash their hands once they've got access to water. Alright, so let's speed through the night then. And we'll just let them do that. It's really cool so far. I mean, you've got your materials down here up at the top right, what you can see to see what how much you've got of everything. And you've got your food is up here. So you've got 23,000 kilocalories. So don't worry so much about food right off the bat because you do have a decent start of food. But it's just a case of making sure that you've got enough throughout the game. But just initially, then that's absolutely fine. So they're just eating now. Look, they're just eating from the ration box, which is great. Let's look at the germ overlay. Have we got many germs? See, they're covered in germs at the moment because we've not got the water bottle. There we go. Okay, let's slow that down a bit. So now they're using the water, look. So he's going to take the water up there. And hopefully he's going to use that to wash his hands. There we go, look. So he's adding water now to the wash basins. And that's good. Alright, so far, we're doing alright there. Now what we need next is this ladder, which I just want to fill up in this area. You can see them holding the breath, but the carbon dioxide will drop down here now. What's probably better as well if I make more room for the carbon dioxide to drop down. So if I deconstruct this one and this one, now your duplicates can jump over like one block. They think they can do one block. They can jump across and 2 blocks up. So if you can see there now, the carbon dioxide's filling down here. They'll keep coming up for air. You know, so don't worry too much about that. And I'm going to put I'm going to put some things that'll help us with oxygen down at the bottom. So look, he's come up there now and he's gasping for air. Look, oxygen. So they just come up, catch the breath, and then they'll go back down and work as well after that. So we'll just let them get on with that there. Now, while we're doing that, I want to just look at this water pump, make sure we've got everything we need. Yep, that's fine. And it's got this thing. You can actually have it quite high. It goes quite deep. So that's going to get us water there and we'll be absolutely fine. Just for OCD purposes, I'm just going to take out that there. Okay, so what we need now is while they're digging that out, we need to look at research. So what I'm going to need is power. So we're going to need raw materials. So we need to let them dig this out first. So this may take a while. So we'll just let them get enough dirt to get the generator out. So let's just speed that up there. We should have enough pretty soon. Okay, it's taking them a while to dig out because of the oxygen. But I've put it on full speed. So we should be able to get down that fairly quickly. Alright, yeah, so they're going quite fast there now. And like I said, as they run out of jobs, they'll start sweeping up. And just like you can in, for those of you that have played RimWorld, what you can have in this, you just give them jobs and you can kind of tick, you know, what works and what doesn't. So for example, if we've got someone that's really good at art, we can take everybody off art and just let Sissy do all the art, that's it. If we wanted to do that, you know, that's exactly how we can do that there. So let's get the power set up now then. So we're still waiting for raw materials. Now what we might need to do is build some storage first. So let me just put a storage container. Let's put one on. We'll put 3 storage containers there. Maybe that's why we've got not enough raw materials. Maybe we're not stacking them. There we go. So we click on that one. Now with the raw materials, what's important is when you've got the containers, pick on one of the containers, click all, but then go on organic and just make sure you tick polluted dirt there and just untick it. And then what you can do then is you can copy settings and put that to the others. What that does, if you put polluted debris and things like that in here, these will start getting dirty and it'll start spreading germs all around your base, which is one thing that you do not want. Okay, so let's get some more raw material then so we can build this power generator. That's one thing that we're looking for now. And the carbon dioxide, as you can see, is, you know, still going down to the bottom there. Now, one thing we can do to boost the oxygen is we can build these algae terrariums, but we need farming research first. So we do need to do some research, and we do need to get the manual generator up and running, and we do need to get some metal really. So once we've got some metal, we can start going with that. So there's some up here, there's some copper there. This is metal as well, igneous rock. So there's some copper there, copper there. We haven't really got much copper to start us off with, you know. So maybe we need to dig out a little bit further. There we go. So now we've got the generator that we can put up. So I'm going to put that over here next to the gate. And you need to be mindful of copper, like I said. So make sure that you get enough. Okay, let's let these guys sleep. And then we can move on to the next part. They're going to dig out there as well. Okay, so once you've got that done and you've got enough materials for it, you go onto the you'll go onto stations after a while, and you'll get a research station. But before you can do that, as I said, you've got to get some other things first. So you need the power going to your area, so we need to do that quickly. Now if you want to build something early, what you do, you click on prioritize down here in the bottom right, click number 9 or whatever build order you want to put it in. Everything defaults to 5, so on the job scale it's number 5, so you can put a 9 in there, look, and I just click 9 on there. Now that will become the priority. So what those guys will do is they'll come up there, look, and they'll build, there you go, the power generator right there. So all that's left to do now is to sweep up all this mess and obviously to put things in here. So they're going to dig this out so we can get this metal over here, which is one thing that we need. Because we've just not got the materials at the minute. We're missing raw materials and this metal's going to help us. But we've got to be mindful of the gas still. So we've got this big area at the top which is full of oxygen. And now, as you can see, the carbon dioxide is falling down here, which is fine for us. That kind of works. As long as we keep doing it and we keep having these areas down below, we can live on this top level and kind of let the gas. Some people build up in like 3s and 4s, so they've got everything together. You know, that's one way to do it. But, you know, what I'll do, I'll put the battery down now then. So you go to power, put the battery down, and we'll hook these two up now. We'll just hook the wires up like so. And then what we can do, we can get the stations down here, and we can do a research station right next to it. I'll put that in there, and then we'll get a wire again. And then we'll just slot that in. And there we go. And then we've got a research station on the go. So let me just slow this down a little bit now. So there's the research station. So that's going to build up and get a little bit bigger. There we go. So we'll slow down again. Now what we can do, we've got access to research. So we click on the research station and we get this awesome little research tree. If you don't click off it like I just did there, we get this awesome little research tree. And what I usually start with is basic farming, because that gives us the algae terrarium, which is one thing that I really need. The compost heap I told you about. We get a planter box so we can start making food, and you get a ration box as well, which stores a small amount of food in it just to keep us going. So let's get that going there. Now, speaking of food, one thing that we could also do with is a microbe musher. This initially, I don't want to have this forever, but what this will do is this will help us with food early on. So we'll just click on that there and we'll hook that up. And it kind of makes these like mush bars out of the algae. Doesn't sound very appetizing, but you know, you got to survive. So let's just dig this out on here as well. Now, what this is now that this is glowing, because it's cycle 3, we get a new duplicant. Now, it's not like before where you can shuffle the skills. You get a choice of 3 duplicants here, who we can bring into the group. Now, this guy looks good. So he's got all good stats. He's a caregiver, but he's got biohazardous, which means all the vitamin C in space could not stop this duplicant from getting sick. His immune system strength is -4 per cycle. So he's going to get weaker and weaker and weaker as we go on, which we don't want. Now, this guy's squeamish, but he's got 9 strength. He's got diver's lungs, so I think I'm going to go with this guy. I'm going to go with Nails. How can you not with a name like that? So Nails will come out now, and Nails is going to help us with the colony. So he's going to continue. So let's build that further across there. And if you look now, just while they're all busy, you know, chipping away at things like that, I'm going to show you the biomes that we've got. So he's researching there. She's building the food machine. Now, the biomes that we've got, if you look over here, this swamp biome is full of like germs. If you look at the germ area, you can see all that green in there. This is basically what you need to be careful of when you're going into a biome like that. And if you go to the other side, we've got some there, but this rock biome that's going down the middle here, you look at that, no germs there. And it's usually a lot hotter. So if we click on temperature, you tend to find that these kind of biomes, look, these are red. You know, these have kind of got things on. Now, I know you've most likely just noticed there's a little area down here. I've not got this far before. We probably won't do on this video, but if you're going to subscribe and watch the series, I'll show you these kind of areas later on. So you got a comfy bed, you know, you've got desks and all this kind of thing. So that could be something worth looking at later on. But for now, as I said, what we're going to do, we're just looking at getting started in oxygen not included, rather than going for the things much later on. Okay, so what we're also going to look at next is I want to look at gas piping. So once we've done this, and once we've got this research done, which we nearly have, 3 of 5, so we've got a while to go there, then we'll have a look at gas piping after that. But one thing that we do need next is a bottle emptier. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to dig down to this biome down here. And this, again, it's good because what it'll mean is it's further for the carbon dioxide to fall down. So I'll build like a 3 area like this, I think. Maybe a 4. Yeah, let's do a 3. And I'll deconstruct these 3 bits here. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's a 4. Yeah, alright, that's fine. So we'll do the 4 like that. And then I'm going to put this bottom section. I don't want to dig it out because the water's going to flow out. So I'll just do like a little section like this. Alright, so if you guys can see there, I'll just come in a little bit. So I'm going to build down like this way now. And I'm going to build a little ladder. Let's have a look. I'm going to build a ladder here. There we go. I've got a little 3-way going down there. So that's fine. So that'll work like that. And that'll end up so that we can get a little ladder down and we can start accessing this water. So what I'll do, I'm just going to dig out this top part a little bit more. Go on the dig tool there. And what I want it to be is so that we can actually get to the water. Okay, so we're towards the end of the cycle now. They're going to sleep. There's no beds. Now, if you look, because we're going down, the carbon dioxide here is high, so it's hard for these guys to breathe. But what's important, and the most important part, is this part up at the top is breathable, because this is where they're going to come. They probably shouldn't be sleeping in unbreathable gases, but, you know. So while they're doing that, the microbe musher. So here we are. This is the food that we've got to start ourselves off with. So to get that, you just go food, microbe musher, hit the power, and just make sure that it's connected up. You know, so if you hit the You just hit the wire there. You can see there that the power's coming from it. And we've got power in the battery, so everything's working as it should be. Okay, so what we have to do in there is queue a fabrication. So you click on it. We're going to use the mush bars. And all you do then is just click continuous. And that'll now keep churning out food, which they'll just store in here. And just keep an eye up there on your kilocalories up there. And you should be absolutely fine. So let's speed through the night again. And this, I mean, you've got the basics, down. I'm just going to go over a little bit about I'm going to show you accessing this water here. And we're going to put the bottle emptier down there. Which is what we're going to do next. In fact, you know what? We could also put a ladder in here. I don't know if this will work, but I'm going to try. I'm going to deconstruct this section in here. Deconstruct. Get rid of this ladder. And then what I'm going to do, hopefully I can get a bottle. I can put a ladder in there and get a bottle opener there. A bottle emptier, sorry. So let's just do this. Okay, we'll put the ladder going into the water a little bit. Okay, so he's running on his little wheel, look, bless him. So he's creating all the electricity, just going furiously there, filling up that battery, which is good for him. Okay, so she's holding her breath, but this is good because the oxygen levels now, the carbon dioxide, sorry, is falling down even further. And we've got lots going off here now. So what we're going to do is, once we've got this little ladder bit built, I can put the bottle emptier up there. So we go plumbing and the bottle emptier. And if you look on there, it tells you on there, empties bottle liquids back into the world, which we might need to be doing later on. So if I put the bottle emptier there, that should be fine. It needs to be on a solid surface. You can't put it on like a ladder or on top of a vent or anything like that, or even on here. So it has to go on somewhere like this. So I'm going to put it there. Now the water can drip through the ladder, which is absolutely fine. And that is only going to be pushing out clean water for us once it's built. So once that's built, any bottled water that we've got, any clean water that we've got, it's going to filter back in here so that we're not wasting it and we've kind of got an ongoing source there. So we'll just let them go up and wash their hands. Look at this mush bar. They look disgusting. But this is what they're eating, unrefrigerated mush bars, which is basically just refined algae, if you like, or algae, depending on where you're from. But if that's what they want to do, that's up to them, guys. So, looking at the levels there, carbon dioxide's all fell down to the bottom now, which is perfect for us. So let's just slow things down a little bit. Now, what I do further down at the bottom, if you go to oxygen and you go to this algae terrarium, this will chew up any sort of carbon dioxide that you've got. It's only a small amount, but it'll eat the carbon dioxide and it'll push out oxygen. And what we've also got up here, we've got an algae deoxidizer. Now, if I look over this side, so this side is where we've got most carbon dioxide in that sense. So I'm going to put one there. And what this actually does is, if you look on there, it becomes idle when area reaches maximum capacity, but it converts the algae into oxygen. So if we just get this now, and we get a wire again, and we'll just run the wire across here. There we go. And then once that's built, that's going to be pushing out more oxygen up there. And these are going to be pulling the carbon dioxide down here, which is going to be great for us. So this bit's really breathable, or it's going to be even more breathable really soon. And we can also put the compost heap on there as well. So if we go to refinement, and what this does, this just breaks down polluted dirt into fertilizer, which we can use later on when we're using our plants, which I'm going to put in here. We've got some storage containers, but I'm going to put some plants in there as well. So we've got some planter boxes. Okay, so put like, I don't know, 6 in there for now. So that should be plenty. So we've got loads going off. Now we need to research. So we've got more to research in here. So we'll probably go for, I wanted the gas one next, didn't I? So I want the plumbing. Nope, ventilation is what I want next. So we'll go ventilation. Always be sure to make sure that you're clicking on this and you're not missing out, because it's easy to forget to research, believe it or not. So we've got loads going off there. There's lots to look at. There's lots to keep going at. So basically, when you're getting started in oxygen not included, what you want to do is get the power up and running. Make sure you've got a water source. If you look on the water here, so I'm going to put all liquids, but what I don't want in here is polluted water. I just want clean water going back in here. So when they're emptying bottles out and when they're not using them anymore, clean water is going to go back into this water source, and that's absolutely fine. What we're going to do later on, we might going to separate these out. So this little bit of water that we've started with, I'm probably going to use down here for polluted water, and then I'll use this larger biome here of water, and we'll use that for our clean water. So we'll probably go down this way and we'll make that our clean water source, and then we can kind of make this whatever we want. We'll probably drain that down this way, but that's for later on. Like I said, that's for another video. So just to give you a quick summary, got electricity there. We've got our food that we're sustaining now. We've got these small planter boxes that we're also going to get food from. And this is going to be more nutritious than what the microbe mush is going to be. We've got the bathroom set up. That's the first thing you should do when you get into oxygen not included, set up the bathroom. We've got our little algae terrarium down here, which is going to pull the carbon dioxide down. And a storage box, which can pretty much go soon. You know, it's nearly empty now. And our research station that we've got. So that's pretty much everything towards getting started, and we can expand our base and we can build out this way. What's great is we've got loads of algae down here to go into, all this metal to get, and if you look at the area at the top there, there's a nicely oxygenated area there that we can use to build up into, because when we build up there and this this algae deoxidizer is built there, it's going to be extremely useful and it's going to work on all this. Just before we end the video, I'm just going to speed this up. I'm just going to fast forward for you guys and I'll show you just how effective this is. Okay, so we've prioritized the build there now. So if you look, what we've got is we've got a lot of red carbon dioxide around here at the minute. And that's now built. We need it to actually be working, so just wait for the wires to be done. I think, oh, there we go. So now that's kicking off. And as you can see, what you will be able to see there, it looks like it's not making much difference. If you remember, all this was red before. And then what it's going to actually do is going to start making this blue. So once these actually kick off, which they will do any second now, once the algae terrarium is up and running, that will be an absolutely excellent way to start the management of the carbon dioxide and the gases off. Okay, so now that we've got the algae terrarium almost built up there, you can already see up here now. So the oxygen is now getting a lot purer. And if you look, the gases are falling down much lower. So it's actually good. Now the oxygen is going to get much more breathable up there. We can prioritize down here. We'll just put these to 9s. And now you can see here, so if you look, the oxygen around it's getting blue. And that'll only get more and more blue with time. As time goes on, this will actually work even better. We could probably do with another one over here, if you know, and then we'll put another gap down so the oxygen, so that the carbon dioxide can fall down, and then all this will be light blue and we should be absolutely fine. But guys, that is how to get started. That is getting started in oxygen not included. If you're liking this and you want to see the next bit of development in the base, and you want to see where the base goes from there once we've got the planter boxes up and running, and the next step of the base and things like that, and once the farms are all up and running, please let me know in the comments down below. And if you're not part of the Litanah army already, make sure you subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.